Namaste and welcome to today's episode. Today we'll talk about something that can prevent and help us fight cancer, a disease which is growing rapidly, one of the number one causes of death, and something which all of us or most of us are scared of. Now we know our bodies are amazing. Okay? We are exposed to thousands of chemicals, toxins every day, and poisons through our lifestyle choices on an everyday basis. And our body smartly process it and excrete it out of our body. Now, our body's detoxification is a key that prevents us from catching any so-called disease. Okay. Our lifestyle choices ensure that we have either our body is full of illness or it is towards life which is full of wellness. But unfortunately, the input, as in the exposure to these toxins, these chemicals, these poisons, is far higher than our body's normal ability to excrete it out. And that's where certain dietary choices, certain lifestyle choices makes a huge difference. Now we know that since World War II, more than 85,000 different synthetic chemicals have been released in our environment. There are more than 350 different pesticides that is sprayed on the food that we eat on an annual basis. There are more than 400 different chemicals which are present in an average human being's body at any point of time. In fact, so much so, this is so scary that a newborn baby's placenta has shown more than 250 different chemicals. Some studies have shown that a working woman, before she steps out of her house, on an average in a Western world, is exposed to more than 162 different chemicals. This is not to scare you, but just to bring to your notice that our exposure is higher than our current ability to remove that from our body. Now, between 1/3 to one half of all the cancer that happens in the world is been linked to our dietary causes. It is linked to something that is caused by a dietary issue. 2/3 of the cancer in the world has been linked to environmental toxins like exposure to chemicals, exposure to radiation, exposure to tobacco. Okay, so 2/3 of the cancer, and only 3% to 5% of the total cancer cases in the worldwide are something which have been linked to our genetics. So you can't say that I have a family history of cancer, so I will also get cancer, and you get stressed about it. History or genetics only expose you to certain genes, but it is your lifestyle, it is your exposure, it is your choices which will ensure whether you get that or you don't get that. Now, our choices have a tremendous impact on our ability to have whether we go towards a path of illness or wellness. We can certainly reduce our exposure to toxins. Okay, so you might say that I will not use any chemical cosmetics or skincare which has got a lot of chemicals. You can certainly do that. You can certainly say that I will only eat 100% organic. Okay, but you cannot reduce exposure to 100%. You can't live in a bubble which is free of everything, because you'll get exposure to toxins through certain foods, through the air, through water, okay, through perfumes, through exposure to all the toxic things which are applied, all the varnishes, creams, anything that can be synthetically that has been applied can cause certain issues to you. Now, what we can do is we can only support our body for it to increase its ability to fight anything that can cause harm to our body, which is in this case cancer. Now, what we need to do is we need to ensure that we are able to detoxify the toxins that we are getting exposed to in a better manner. Now, how do we detoxify? We detoxify things through liver, kidney, some exposure to lungs, and a very small through our skin. When we sweat, we shed our skin, we sweat. But liver remains our biggest organ of detoxification. It has more than 500 different functions, and one of the biggest function that it does continuously through our life is detoxification. Now, how do you ensure that your liver health is at a prime? Because if it is at prime, its ability to, and while you work on reducing your exposure to toxins, uh, the liver will be able to detoxify. So there is something known as cruciferous vegetables. Vegetables which belong to this category are rich in sulfur. Now, uh, what all those vegetables can be? They can be cabbage, cauliflower, radish, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, spinach, mustard greens, turnips, collard greens, arugula. Okay, so all these, whether it is in dark leafy green vegetables or it is the sprouts of it, these are rich in something known as uh, they're rich in sulfur. Now, sulfur has a compound known as sulforaphane. Now, sulforaphane is something which binds to the toxins which your liver is processing, converts it into a liquid, into a water-soluble toxin, and then only you can detoxify. So, even if your liver is working properly, if your body is low on sulfur-rich food, the toxin which has to be eliminated by a process where you convert all the toxins which are always fat soluble, because that's how the body will absorb nutrients. It has to be fat soluble, which gets converted into a water soluble, because the sulforaphane combines with these toxins with the help of other nutrients. It becomes water soluble and the body can excrete it. If it is fat soluble, it will never be excreted of your body. So when this gets excreted out of your body through sulforaphane, you will not have too much exposure and these toxins will not recirculate in your body. When this toxin does not recirculate your body, your cancer cells which are already there in your body, everybody has cancer cells. It is when we start to feed them with toxic exposure, that's when they become violent, or they grow, or they multiply faster. Okay, so it is important that you are adding a lot of sulfur-rich food. Now, you can have them steamed, you can have them boiled, you can have them in salad form, you can have them in your smoothies, you can have them in your soup, you can have them raw. But adding small portion of sulfur-rich food will go a long way in supporting conversion of toxins from a fat soluble to a water soluble, moving them out of your body. Now, it also converts the chemical toxins from a harmful and free radicals that the body is producing to a non-harmful. So even if you're not able to detoxify, they will become less potent. Second thing that you have to do is you have to ensure that there is no issue with your motions. Your ability to clean out motions is proper. So for that, you need to just increase more fiber in your diet. A healthy Indian diet is around 20 to 25 grams of fiber for an adult male. If you're eating a very healthy diet, okay, versus 30 to 35 grams of fiber that is required. That means we need to add a little more raw product in a diet. One apple will give you around 3 grams of fiber. So if you are eating a healthy diet and you add 2 to 3 apples in your day, you have enough fiber to, to one, feed your microbes, and second, enough fiber that will help your body to detoxify, to have a better motions, to have an ability to clean these toxins out, which if otherwise gets trapped in your body will create issues. Now, one of the best food among the sulfur-rich category that you can eat is broccoli. Now, broccoli has, you get broccoli extract also, but broccoli is fresh with its stalk has got more than 300 different functions in our body. One of the biggest function that broccoli does, and that is something for all the females out there, all the women out there, is it helps to detoxify estrogen. So anybody who is in the age group of 35 and above, 35 to 50, who's going through a perimenopause to a menopause stage, you know that the imbalance happens between estrogen and progesterone. It is not that your estrogen levels are high, it is just that your progesterone level might be low. Or maybe your progesterone is right, but estrogen levels is way too high, causing what we call estrogen dominance. And estrogen has this uncanny habit that while it is getting excreted, it gets reabsorbed in your blood and circulation, creating more estrogen dominance. Broccoli broccoli, something from a sulfur-rich cruciferous vegetable family, has an ability to detoxify estrogen. So adding 2 or 3 pieces, small pieces of broccoli in a daily diet is what you need to prevent cancer. This is what you need to prevent estrogen dominance, and this is what you need to have a right hormonal balance. And that goes for males also, for their testosterone, for their androgen conversion. And simple food from which is available to us. We do not need to go for all the supplements and superfoods, because we have everything in a refrigerator, we have got everything in a kitchen to lead a healthy life. Having said that, only food will not support you. You need to change your lifestyle. You need to ensure that your sleep is critical. Trust me, the number one factor that can put you on a path of recovery, a path of wellness or thriving, versus a path of illness or just surviving, is sleep. So focus on that to a great extent. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and we'll catch up soon. Namaste.